Welcome to my review of the Warmind for Destiny 2. The Warmind is the second DLC for Destiny 2. The first was The Curse of Osiris. In the Warmind DLC, we get to find out about Rasputin. Now, Rasputin is the Warmind. He is an AI intelligence that controls a network of satellites, not just around Earth, but also around other planets. And these satellites keep falling out of the sky for some reason. But when they're actually in the sky or in orbit around planets, they are devastating. They can fire lasers that can actually destroy pinpoint locations on the planet's surfaces. So Rasputin is an incredibly powerful weapon, and he's kind of a bit out of control. Nobody really knows what's going on with him. Since the Golden Age, he went a bit quiet. So it's kind of cool that we actually get a DLC based around Rasputin, so we can find out more about this intriguing AI intelligence. Our companion for this DLC is a young lady named Anna Bray. It turns out that she actually is a member of the family that were responsible for creating Rasputin. So because her family has this history with Rasputin, she's really invested in finding out what's going on with Rasputin and whether or not he can actually help humanity in its struggle against all these alien races. Now, the new public space is actually located on Mars. That is where the Warmind resides, and it is a bit grey or brownish colour. It's a bit drab looking. It's not as vibrant as the Infinite Forest in The Curse of Osiris, but it is a much bigger public space. You can actually get your speeder out and ride around in it, which you couldn't do in the public space on The Curse of Osiris. Now, they haven't just taken a chunk of Mars from the first game and sort of resold it to us, thankfully. They have actually created a whole new area on Mars. It's actually based around one of the ice caps of Mars. You are fighting the same enemies. You're still fighting the Hive and the Cabal. One thing they've done is they've redressed the Hive. They're kind of all icy now and they come out of the ice. And you see this in the CG trailer, and it does look really cool. Some people are a bit disappointed that there isn't a new alien race to fight, but this is a DLC. If we didn't get a new alien race in Destiny 2, then you're really not going to get one in an expansion. So that's kind of fair enough. Now, this expansion wasn't actually created by Bungie. It was actually created by another Activision studio called Vicarious Visions. And that was a bit concerning when I found that out, because Bungie do quality work, but Vicarious Visions have actually done a fantastic job. The Mars public space, it's a good size. It isn't planet size by any means, and it's nowhere near as big as Mars in the first game. But as I said, it is a new area. It's all icy. It does look lovely. You can see the ice on the walls when you're going through the different story missions. There are various story missions which are, again, quite decent, a decent length to the story. The remnants of the Red Legion are still lurking around to fight. The Taken also make a reappearance. So there's a lot of variety in the enemies to tackle, even if there isn't much innovation in their design. The public space is called Hellas Basin, and it does look really nice. There's nice neon signs. You can see Clovis, Bray, exoscience signs here, there and everywhere. Now, of course, in any expansion, there's new gear to get, there's new weapons, there are some new exotics as well you can hunt down. One of the real highlights is the Valkyrie. It's a really powerful weapon that's kind of gifted to you by Rasputin, and it is devastating. It is fantastic fun to use. Once it's available, you can just devastate big groups of enemies. There is a big boss to fight, so I thought I should tell you that. I don't want to put any spoilers into this if I can help it. Obviously you want to know what you're going to get for your money, and there is a big boss. The story missions do lead up to fighting it, and of course you do get to kind of meet Rasputin as well. And of course you do find out more about Rasputin. Again, I won't go into that. I don't want to spoil that for you. But the story is cool. I really did enjoy it. There is a couple of lost sectors in Hellas Basin, and there are also these mirrors dotted around, little collectibles. You have to kind of find them and shoot them. and obviously there's rewards for doing that. I think there's like 45 of them dotted around. So there are reasons to explore the Mars Hellas Basin, the public space. Now Anna Bray is a crypto linguist, and she spends a lot of time tapping on her keyboard and giving you little missions to do. And of course, if you help her, you do get rewarded with gear, which is always nice. Now the level cap for the light has gone up to 30, and the power level has gone up to 385. But thankfully, unlike the Curse of Osiris, it's actually a grind to get to those max levels. You can't just easily get there. You have to put time in, and on every weekly reset you have to get the power gear that's available to you. You can go into the Crucible to get power gear rewards. You can do the Nightfall. You can do the new raid tier as well. Yes, there is a new raid tier. It's not a full raid, just like the Curse of Osiris. It's just a little chunk of raid. It isn't the full raid experience. And I love raiding, and that is disappointing for me. Both DLCs for the Destiny 2 so far haven't had a full new raid. But you can bet your bottom dollar there's going to be a full new raid in the DLC in September that's not included in the season pass. That is disappointing, but not unexpected. Now I actually really liked the new raid tier for the Curse of Osiris. I thought that it was actually the strongest part of that DLC. The raid tier on the Warmind wasn't as impressive. Me and my mates tackled it. It was definitely challenging. There was a lot of mechanics to it. Me and my mates were power level 360, and we got to the final boss, and then we realised it was a bit underpowered for the final boss. We gave it a couple of goes, and then we thought, actually we'll come back to it. And we are experienced players. That's a step in the right direction. Bungie have listened. I think one of the main complaints from me and my friends about Destiny 2 in general is it wasn't challenging enough. And the Curse of Osiris, I think I got to max light level just doing the story missions. I mean, it was so easy to level up. I really felt like it was catering more towards the casual gamers. But the thing about casual gamers is once they get to max level, they're gone. Once they've done the story missions, got to max level, they're finished with the game. They're on to something else. What was really missing with Destiny 2 is a real compelling reason for sort of the real hardcore fans of Destiny. And I do consider myself to be a hardcore fan of Destiny. I do love the game. And we really wanted a reason to stick around. And I think the Warmind actually is giving us a reason to come back to Destiny. It's brought all my mates back to Destiny. Actually, all my friends on my friends list are from playing Destiny. And the Warmind has actually got us all playing it again. And because there's more of a challenge to it, that gives me hope for the DLC in September. I'm actually a lot more enthusiastic about buying the DLC in September, having played the Warmind. Now once we'd done or tackled the raid tier, we actually went to Mars Public Space, Hellas Basin, and tackled the Escalation Protocol, which is a kind of mini horde mode public event. And there were 6 of us tackling it. Again, it was at about 360 power level, all sort of max light level 30, and it was really challenging. We got to level, the final level and the final boss. The boss actually rotates every week. Again, another reason to keep coming back and playing. But when we actually got to level 7 and tackled the boss, he was rock solid. We had tethers flying in from everywhere. We had people trying to super the boss. And you had to get his shield. The boss we tackled, you had to get his shield down with some swords, and then you could really tackle him. And there was exploding thrall everywhere. The frame rate dropped horrendously. I have to say that. That was probably the negative thing about it. I just play on a standard sort of PlayStation. I haven't got a Pro. And when they had all these ogres coming in and all these enemies and all these players doing their supers, it got crazy. I mean, it's fantastic fun. And we really enjoyed it, but the frame rate hit the floor sometimes. Definitely made me think I'd need to get a Pro. Now even though we were 360, I think the recommended is 370 power level. We were around 360. We couldn't defeat the final boss. He was just too solid for us. We thought, okay, we gave it a couple of goes and thought maybe we'll come back when we're leveled up a bit more. But that's what I really love about the Warmind DLC. It's actually challenging seasoned players. Bungie have finally listened. As well as the public events in the public area, there are also a couple of new strikes to do, and they're decent. Vicarious Visions have done an impressive job. There's also a couple of new maps for PvP, but I think they are also available even to people that didn't buy the DLC, which I think is a good thing. It's a shame there's only 2 maps for the PvP. Now, slowing down the progression, I think, has really been key to me and my mates really enjoying this new DLC. Having to come back on every weekly reset on the Tuesday, and then doing the Nightfall, doing Crucible, doing public events, just grinding out to get the power gear, to level up. Some people don't like that, some people don't want that restriction, they want to just be able to burn through the content. I actually like that, having that sort of weekly reset, coming back every week. I look forward to that. Me and mates get online, let's tackle the raid, let's do the Nightfall. DLC tends to be overpriced compared to the base game. It's really for people that really enjoyed the original game and are prepared to pay a premium to get more of it to play. And I think the Destiny DLCs do tend to fall into that category, and I think that's no different with the Curse of Osiris expansion and also the Warmind expansion. They are really for people who are fans of Destiny 2. Now, I actually enjoyed the Curse of Osiris expansion. I know the Infinite Forest was a bit repetitive, but I did really enjoy the new strikes, and I thought it looked amazing. I think generally speaking, my mates are saying that they think the Warmind is a much better expansion, and because of that slowed progression, I tend to agree with them. Now, I'm really enjoying the expansion. It's really got me and my mates playing Destiny 2 again. It's actually dragged me off of Fortnite. I was really heavily into Fortnite. The Warmind's brought me back to Destiny 2. But if you're not a huge fan of Destiny 2, I really don't think the Warmind's going to change your mind on that. It is more of the same, but they've just made it a bit more challenging. But I absolutely adore the shooting mechanics in Destiny. I'm not really a fan of cover-based shooters, and I did kind of enjoy The Division. Back in the day I did enjoy Gears of War, but for me, I'm more just a sort of run and shoot kind of guy. Destiny just feels perfect to me. Okay, it's not 60 frames a second. I would love it to be 60 frames a second, but you do get used to 30 frames a second. It still feels really nice, and the supers, supers are great. I love the sci-fi fantasy setting of Destiny 2 as well. It's perfect for me. I just love it. I'd like to give a big shout out to Andy and Wilf, KJC, SPL and Fletchy Bang. Thanks for helping me tackle the raid tier and also the Escalation Protocol. We had a real laugh, and that's one of the things I love about Destiny, is it brings people together and you can actually make new friends online. Gaming used to be quite a solitary pursuit. Often you just play at home on your own, or maybe co-op with a friend or two, but now you can literally make friends from all over the world. Okay, so that's the end of my review for the Warmind. It's okay. It's Vicarious Visions have done a decent job. It's not a must own, but if you love Destiny, it's definitely worth buying. Okay, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this review, then please give me a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.